What is going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Bar Show. I am your host. Oh my goodness, I just realized I don't have my lights on. Whatever, we're going to do it a little bit in the dark today, but I am your host, Purple and Gold Bars, a.k.a. Mr. AI 3000, a.k.a. Supreme Overlord, at your service. What is going on here? Could you guys hear that? I don't know what the heck I was getting the echo for here, but either way, we'll cut that out after the live goes up to make sure we get that. But anyways, let's do the intro again. What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Bar Show. I am your host, Supreme Overlord, a.k.a. Mr. AI Man 3000, a.k.a. Purple and Gold Bars at your service. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a good one today. Might just be a quick one just because, we want to just poke a little bit of fun here, and we got a bunch of good segments lined up for you today. Starting off this live, we're going to be looking at the 2024 redraft. We have two examples here, one for Mr. Dan Orlovsky and then one for Mr. Peter Schrager, as well as we're going to let the cat out of the bag once more time because it doesn't hit the same when I talk about Jared Goff like when an ex-football player, somebody that's been in the locker room, been around organizations, and has a different perspective than you and I. So we'll see what Mr. Chris Canty has to say. Let us get right into the show. Let's do that show intro. Let's go, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Oh, what's going on, MJ? Good morning to you guys all. We are at it with another live, a little bit of a hot take review, a little bit of an assessment, or maybe just maybe a little bit of poking fun. But we're going to look at what Dan Orlovsky had to say and Peter Schrager had to say. So let's kick off the stream with that. Let's now I couldn't find the actual video clip for it because I actually stumbled upon ESPN's Unsportsmanlike. I've seen, it's a show that I've kind of seen clips here and there, but not too often, and never really paid too much attention. But yesterday I was driving and listening, and I realized that they made some pretty good points, and I wanted to bring to you guys this clip. So I have the audio from their podcast because that's what they released on Spotify. So let's hear what Mr. Dan Orlovsky had to say about the 2024 draft class.
If you did the 2024 redraft of just the quarterbacks 1 through 6, what of the first rounders, what would your order be? Team withstanding. So it's 6 expansion franchises going 1 through 6. Who goes 1 in that draft for you?
Jaden.
Okay, 2.
Drake.
3.
Quarterback. This is just quarterbacks?
Just quarterback.
Caleb.
4.
Probably Bo.
5 and 6. So JJ and Penix.
JJ and
in that
JJ
order?
then Penix. Yes.
So you.
Okay. I will give Dan Orlovsky some credit because he made this prediction or this redraft, recalculation, whatever you want to call it, yesterday morning before Thursday Night Football. So he didn't get the luxury of seeing Bo Nix at his finest in front of a huge stage on Thursday Night Football here. And, I don't know. I like Jaden Daniels. I think it's a toss-up as of right now. As of November 7th, 2025, I think it's still a toss-up between Drake May and Jaden Daniels for two reasons. One, because all Jaden Daniels needs to do to fix his injury issues, right? Because the biggest critique going into the draft or coming out of the draft was that he can do it all. He's got a grain mindset. He works extra hard. He literally has everything that you need, on top of the fact that he's more of an athlete than other dual threats that have come before him. And he's a very, very good pocket passer. but he's so frail. He's so skinny. Now, does that mean that he doesn't deserve to be considered there just for that situation? No, because if we go back and we look at other greats in other sports, specifically Michael Jordan, right? He used to get bullied around by the bad boy Pistons, and he just had enough. I know he didn't suffer the injuries that Jaden Daniels did outside of that broken foot in year one, but he acknowledged the fact that he needed to put on some size and some muscle, and I think that's what Jaden needs to do. Right now, he needs to be working lower body, right? I know he can't do any lifting with his arm right now. He's going to have to go through that rehab process. I don't think he's going to be coming back this year, and after him being out there in that situation and getting injured, I don't think they're going to bring him or rush him back, because it would look like exponentially worse if they've rushed him back and he gets injured again, and it would just be all hell breaks loose. It'll be the RG3 comparisons. It'll be throwing the Commanders under the bus, and just really like the pitchforks would really come out. So what I think Jaden Daniels needs to do to kind of erase this is hit the gym. He needs to start eating like a bodybuilder 4, 5, 6 times a day, and eating to gain as much mass as possible. He needs to be lifting all lower body between now until he's ready to lift upper body. And then he needs to focus on upper body strength and getting that thickness. I know he's not going to get as thick as a lot of people think, and there is a bit of a negative return when you start putting on mass, right? Is he going to have that same explosiveness? Is he going to have that elusiveness, that speed, that breakaway speed that a lot of people really like from him? That athleticism might dip a little bit, because we've all been to the gym and we've seen some really big steroid using, or just to give you an extreme example of a bodybuilder, that's just way too big. They don't look athletic when they start doing athletic things, although they may be, and they have the body to be explosive and everything, but they just don't have that look that's like, oh man, this guy's gonna light the 40 times speed, right? So there is a diminishing return when it comes to putting on mass. But if he eats properly and gets to an acceptable weight range where it's not affecting his speed, and then on top of that he trains hard and really conditions himself so he gets to the appropriate level of thick, and then he becomes just like dense and hard. Like, remember, if you guys are basketball fans, a lot of players have come out, and you can look at this up. Everybody said, like, it went from being able to bully MJ to, like, he was like a brick wall out there. Even though he didn't look massive, he didn't look like a bodybuilder. When you develop that kind of strength, it gives you that ability to withstand hits and kind of shrug off guys in situations where right now he might be being easily taken down in, right? And those are the extra little things that or hits or situations that are going to increase the likelihood of injury. So if he's just harder to move around and he's just strong like a deep-rooted tree out there, it's going to be harder for him to take certain types of injuries, and that will most likely erase some of these takes when it comes to how injury prone he could potentially be. And let me take a moment here. Eric, New Mexico in the house, Raquel and Florinda, thank you so much for joining me today. It's Eric's 53rd birthday today. Hey, happy birthday, my guy. I'm happy that that it's your birthday. I hope you have another 20, 30, 40 years ahead of you. I want you to be out here as long as possible, because that would truly make me happy. And I hope you guys get those shirts relatively quickly here so that you can be rocking them and as a family there. I really appreciate you guys. Now, let's get back to the topic. So when it comes to the redraft, Queen Mary's in the house. Good morning. Happy Friday to you. But yes, after going over, Mary, maybe we'll, just for the newcomers here, let's replay what Dan Orlovsky had when he rebuilt or redrafted the 2024 draft QB class, and then we'll go back and we'll assess what I think it should be, and then we'll also touch base with a little bit more of a realistic take by Peter Schrager.
If you did the 2024 redraft of just the quarterbacks 1 through 6 of the first rounders, what would your order be? Team withstanding. So it's six expansion franchises going 1 through 6. Who goes 1 in that draft for you?
Jaden.
Okay, 2,
Drake.
3.
Quarterback. This is just quarterbacks.
Just quarterback.
Caleb.
4,
Probably Bo.
5, and 6. So JJ and Penix.
JJ and
In that
JJ then Penix. Yes.
So there you have it, guys. So just a little recap for those of you guys that just joined me. So I got to give some grace to Dan because he made this redraft before watching Thursday night football, and I don't know if anybody's going to be placing him pretty high on that 2024 redraft if they were to do one today after what they saw last night in prime time. So like I said, like I was saying, Jaden Daniels can definitely, I think it's 1A, 1B as of right now, as of November 7th, 2025, right now, I think it's 1A, 1B when it comes to Drake May and Jaden Daniels, just because of what they're doing. I believe that our guy, J.J. McCarthy, as he gets to the same amount of starts or somewhere where we can actually start comparing him, I think he's going to leapfrog these guys because I just believe in him that much. And, we're going to talk a little bit about later in a different segment because Peter Schrager had a good it's actually going to be in the Vikings-Ravens game. I'm going to bring a clip here that kind of reinforces J.J. McCarthy, and we can go into the Vikings-Ravens. But as of right now, I think those two definitely could be 1A, 1B. Now, Caleb, the thing is that he's got a bigger sample size than the other, and he's done better in certain games. Although we know last year, everybody expected Caleb to come into the league and basically be generational, and idiots like Nick Wright were predicting that they were going to be in the Super Bowl in year one. Like, it's never been done before. I don't think ever a rookie has ever taken or even made it to the Super Bowl. Maybe a championship game, maybe an AFC title game, or championship. That's the same thing. But I don't think anyone has ever won one, if I'm not mistaken. I think Ben Roethlisberger, he made it to the AFC title game, but then did not win a Super Bowl in year one. It wasn't until year 2. So I really don't think there is something that we can compare to. So that was just ridiculous. But in the flashes that he's shown and the good games that he's put together, I think we got to give the benefit of the doubt just because of what we've seen. So I'm okay with those 3 guys being top 3. But this is where I'm like, okay, even after 3 games, we have seen enough from JJ to easily, without a shadow of a doubt, put him ahead of Bo Nix as well as Michael Penix, okay? I don't think that Bo Nix or Michael Penix has done anything of significance that makes me go, oh, guys, I might be wrong with his ceiling. No. I think Bo Nix is going to be an above average quarterback. I just don't think he has the ceiling of J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels, okay? It's just what I believe, and it's just because of what I'm seeing on the field. We're Vikings fans, so we remember 2021 where we were winning close games, and a lot of us were saying, why is nobody giving us credit? And it's because when we struggle against bad teams and we come away with a 1-score game, or sometimes we come away with wins against good teams in the last moment where we had a lot of down moments in the games. It's very hard to predict that that team to making a deep run, because we know that the reason that happens is because there is something missing. There's a fundamental flaw in their game, or something that they're just not quite over the hump with. And we learned hard against those Giants why that is the case. And maybe that's what gives me the ability to realize, okay, Bo Nix, the only good team that you've beat is the Eagles. And that was, you literally did nothing for 3 quarters and then did something in the 4th, right? You can't rely on that. So when I'm looking at the totality of what Bo Nix has done, although he's doing great, and I will admit, I think he's more of in a season, a sophomore slump than anything. And I think he's going to regain that as he kind of faces through this adversity, because teams have tape on him. They have developed strategies to work around the Broncos. It's just that defense is doing an incredible job. And I don't think a defense can, there have been examples of defenses carrying teams like or quarterbacks like Trent Dilfer to the Super Bowl, and winning a Super Bowl. So I can't totally discredit because the Broncos defense looks legit. But as far as potential, I don't think Bo Nix even comes close to JJ and above, right? Michael Penix, we can say the same. The guy is looked rough at times. I don't think he's had even a signature game or any sort of situation where I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy has what I think he's going to be. If he maintains a starter, he's just going to be a middle of the pack quarterback at best. I think that over a couple of years, teams will kind of give up on him, and they're going to move. He's going to move to either being a career backup or just out of the league, because I just don't see anything. It's been long enough for us to see something, but there's no massive flashes when it comes to Michael Penix. It's just how I see it. Now, let's quickly take over. Let me see. Well, actually, yes, I agree, Mary. Williams has gotten better, but still has a lot of growing to do. Absolutely. I think that there is some fixing that Ben Johnson needs to do, and there's going to have to be some rewiring of his tendencies and immediate habits, right? Because when panic hits, you revert to what you know, and that's why we were able to beat them in week 1, right? He reverted to the mediocre Caleb Williams' last year when we just kept throwing heavies after heavies on him and kind of broke him down, right? But he has done quite enough to be able to kind of, give him the slight edge over JJ, even though I'm pretty sure that he's better, but we'll see. And I think he's going to elevate past all 4 of these guys ahead of him, or 3 of these guys ahead of him. And it's incredible. Yes, McCarthy is only 3 games in the NFL, and he's already surpassed what Bo Nix has done when it comes to flashes or showing potential. Potential is something that you can't totally ignore when we're looking at these redrafts. But now let's quickly look to see what Peter Schrager said.
But I'm curious to know from your perspective, if you were doing a redraft of the 2024 draft class, give me the top 3 quarterbacks in order.
Wow. So not to dodge the question, it matters where you are. It matters who you're with. It matters.
Let's just say it's expansion teams.
Okay.
So,
expansion teams. I'm drafting them right now. Taking I'll probably go Jaden 1. Going Jaden Daniels 1, although I know people are saying, hey, the injury stuff that we were worried about going into the pros, they're starting to rear their heads right now. I would probably go Drake May 2, 6'5", built like an ox. Great. Everything about him's great. He's just takes it all in, and I would probably take Caleb 3. And then I'm going, in some order, Nix, McCarthy, Penix. And Rattler, who could play.
We've been saying Rattler's not terrible.
Rattler, man.
He's not terrible.
There you have it. I totally agree there. Like, I know at first when I first saw this clip and prepared it, I thought he said that in that order, Nix, JJ, and then Penix, but then he says in some order because I feel like he doesn't want to be concrete with anything because he saw because this is this morning. So he already saw what Bo Nix, and I don't think he was going to stick his head out and say Bo Nix is better than either one of those other 2. So he kind of left it murky in there. But I do like the fact that he brought up Spencer Rattler. And I've been saying I really like Spencer. I think that any team that's like 15 and below is going to love having him because he's going to bring some sort of stability. He's not going to wow you with massive throws. He's not going to put the cape on and carry you to wins, but he can be very serviceable. He does a lot of great things. He doesn't have a ton of turnovers. He looks like an actual NFL caliber starting quarterback. He might be the typical like game manager and nothing more, which is, for a team that you're like rebuilding or struggling bottom of the barrel where you're trying to get some footing with draft picks or whatever it is, rebuild everywhere else, you can slot in Spencer Rattler and he's going to be great for you during that time. Once you have everything else sorted out, though, that's when you got to move on from him and draft a quarterback that's actually going to be able to take on the load or has that winning mentality or is just that talented that the talent might push him over the top, right? So I like what he said there. That's why, but I feel like I know Peter Schrager, he's been really high on JJ McCarthy. And we're going to see in the clip later on today why I say that when in our Vikings Ravens full breakdown and preview coming up a little later here. Why I say that he wants to say JJ there, but he's just hedging his bets, and it's okay. I get it. Sometimes I hedge my bets too, so it's okay, But wholeheartedly, I think this is the way that it goes. It goes Jaden or Drake May. Take your pick. 1A, 1B, okay? It's like MJ and Kobe, 1A, 1B. Not saying that they are those guys. I'm just saying in that same way that we consider 1A, 1B, they're clearly not either one of those guys yet, but I like both Drake May and Jaden Daniels almost equally, is what I'm trying to say. And then because of the flashes and the things that Caleb has done and the potential, I got to give him the slight edge over JJ, and that is a massive indictment to Caleb, if you want to really be honest here. Because if I'm like this close to man, if I see 2 or 3 more games where we see historic flashes again, week 1, never been done before, a rookie quarterback or a first-year starting quarterback coming back with an 11 or more trailing 11 or more points in the fourth quarter, and then coming away with the win. It was never done, and JJ was the first to do it. And then last week against the Dolphins, he set history again with another historic flash. I don't know if you guys realize this, but it is now JJ McCarthy is in the greatest company behind Dan Marino, Patrick Mahomes, and now, as of last week's game against the Lions, JJ McCarthy. For quarterbacks that have started their career in their first year starting and winning 2 divisional away games. Let's be real, guys. Flukes, bums, slightly above average guys don't have that kind of impact that immediately in just 3 games. That's why it just adds fuel to my confidence in this young man. Mind you, I've done a lot of research on JJ McCarthy. I spent hours pre-draft just analyzing just about every throw that he made in college and every highlight play that came out. And then after the fact, when I heard this, he's a winner at every level, I can't hitch my horse to anecdotes or just cliches like that. And then I went and dug deep, and I found out a lot more about him. And now I'm so confident in him when more of these things start happening, because I'm like, oh my goodness, he definitely is proving the research and my intuition right. That's why I think it's a massive indictment on Caleb to be a season and a half or season and 3 in at least a season and a half ahead of JJ, and in just 3 games he has shown me more than Caleb has done. That's incredible, but because of just that little slight edge, I put him ahead of JJ as of right now, November 7th, 2025. And then I put Bo Nix and then Michael Penix. And maybe, you know what? Actually, I'm going to put Spencer Rattler ahead of Michael Penix, because how do you come in as a 27-year-old or whatever, an old man, essentially an old man for a quarterback, and look so unpolished? One of his biggest things for Michael Penix coming out of the draft was like, hey, he's a seasoned quarterback. He's played a lot in college. He's going to be the most NFL ready out of all these guys. And does it look like it? Guys, let's be real here. So that is my thoughts and my intuitions when it comes to the 2024 redraft. As of right now, November 7th, 2025. But now let's flip gears here a little bit, and let's find out, going back to Unsportsmanlike, because this is my new favorite show. I'm so happy that I stumbled across this radio show, because I was flipping between sports talk show, because I try to stay as informed as possible to understand why people are saying the things they are, and then I try to dig deeper, because I know that the mainstream media, most of the time, 99 or 95% of the time, they're just making superficial takes based on just basic box score stats, or just things that just don't really go in depth to really understand what's going on in the teams that they're talking about. So That's why I'd say it's always kind of a waste of a time to really build your perspective around just mainstream media tips, right? That's why we're here. We're going to give you guys great, optimistic, in-depth, out-of-the-box thinking as well when it comes to NFL takes, specifically for our Minnesota Vikings. But I'm going to start ramping it up and bringing in a bunch of other teams because, one, it's been some of those lives have actually pumped off a lot better than I expected. So we're going to start incorporating that and kind of spreading our wings a little bit now that we're starting to get more comfortable in this season and our year 2 of being a content creator here, a football content creator. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, and I hope to be there by the end of the calendar year. We're almost halfway there. But let's get into the best clip of the day from yesterday's Unsportsmanlike episode where Chris Canty finally tells the truth, or maybe has been taking the truth because I haven't been watching the show enough to know, but he tells the truth about Jared Goff, and it hits different because I'm just a guy that's making content from my basement, right? So it doesn't hit the same as when an ex-NFL player does that's in the media, that sees a lot of things. It's got a lot more connections than I do, right? So, and it has a different perspective. So let's go. Let's hear what Chris Canty had to say about Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Yes.
I say yes because they got to a Super.
Oh, and I forgot to preface this clip. They're talking about number 1 quarterbacks or number 1 pick players, and if they have lived up to the number 1 draft expectations. So just kind of give you guys understanding to why they're having this conversation. Let's get back at it.
Jared Goff.
Yes.
I say yes because they got to a Super Bowl and he helped them get Stafford.
No.
Okay, you're saying
not
no.
as a player, no.
Jameis Winston.
I don't know. He elevated 2 franchises.
Goff.
Goff.
Wait, this is wild.
You say he elevated 2 franchises they looked at him as the impediment to them getting to where they want to go, and they were proven right.
But he went to a Super Bowl, and then he took...
Going to the Super Bowl doesn't mean that you that's the thing. If you went to the Super Bowl and you lost it, I don't know how much credit I'm supposed to give you for being the first loser.
Because you're in a position as an organization where you're so bad that you're picking number 1 overall, and that person that you picked helps your team go from the bottom of the barrel to the top of the mountain. Maybe you didn't take it home, maybe you don't have the hardware, but you get to a Super Bowl.
Yes, you got to a Super Bowl, and the head coach and the general manager said, the reason why we're not winning said Super Bowl is because of you, and we're willing to trade you and 2 first-round draft picks to get us a quarterback that can do it. And they were right. I don't know how you get credit for that.
Abso-frickin-lutely. I've been essentially saying the same thing. How do you not realize, Lions fans, or anybody that's a Jared Goff believer, that, bro, the Rams fleeced the Lions, man. I just don't get how you I've seen a couple Lions fans actually respond to some of the trash talking that I've made in Lions Lions channels, reminding people that they got fleeced, and a couple of them come even out and said, "Hey, I don't think this guy can win anything either. I'm not on that bandwagon." And I get it. First time in the history of the NFL was a number 1 overall pick traded away, and 2 draft picks were given away at the same time. It's just like it's unheard of, right? And then Matt Stafford, the guy that they took from him, goes and wins a Super Bowl immediately. And I've been harping on, hey, don't you guys remember that we're in the age of sports psychology? Every single freaking team has a sports psychologist there to help kind of deal with the pressures of the NFL and help them overcome mental hurdles, okay? I bet you the Rams spent all that money on their existing sports psychologist that they have on staff. Plus, they probably hired an extra one just that could be one-on-one with him and only focus on him. They probably went and did like hypnotism. They probably did sleep therapy. They probably all these like sleep. What is it called? Yeah, sleep psychology or sleep therapy or whatever, where they kind of mess with you when you're sleeping or whatever, and then and they try to reprogram you. They probably even brought in witch doctors and stuff like that to try to remove this bad juju that Jared Goff has. I've been saying for a long time, and I will continue to say it because I will live and die with the probabilities. This man is closer to Phillip Rivers than Tom Brady, okay? Name any quarterback in the history of the NFL that has incredible regular season stats and has never done anything to show for it in the playoffs. That's what Jared Goff is. I'm sorry to tell you guys. For those of you guys, Lions fans or whatever, this is who you guys have hitched your freaking wagon to, and you didn't figure it out last year when a rookie-led quarterback team like led by Jaden Daniels came in, made it a big game, and embarrassed you at home. Unbelievable, bro. Jaden Daniels, in that moment, elevated and did what he needed to do to beat a good team. What did Jared Goff do? As soon as it became a big game, it was one of his worst playoff performances ever. What more evidence do you need? What more evidence do you need to see that Jared Goff is literally Kirk Cousins, maybe a little bit better, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan? I'm trying to think of quarterbacks that were awesome but never did anything. Name any single one. You can go deep down the list. And that's what he is. And Chris Canty just reminded everybody in an incredible way, a little bit more bolder than I say it. Oh my goodness. The GM and the coach said, "You're not it. I don't care if you were the number one pick. We're moving on because you don't got it. We've seen enough. We've spent enough money, and you just don't have that ability. You don't have that dog in you. And not everybody does. It's just what it is." Right? Do you want to have a Lions 28-3 situations if you do make it to the playoffs to the Super Bowl forever? Oh, come out big and strong and at the first half and get a massive lead with low, and then let the other team, because they have an actual dog at quarterback, freaking turn it into a game, and then have Jared Goff do the same thing that Matt Ryan did and choke away a freaking win? Lions fans, really take a deep look in the mirror and stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Try to get some optimism. Or not optimism, some objectivity. Because he's not it, guys. Let's be real. All right, guys. That is the first segment of the day here. Relatively quick one here for our standards. I got to prepare here for our Vikings-Ravens preview. We also have In the Zone podcast. Me and Zoe are going to be talking football. We're going to be looking over the Mahomes mountain that I recreated to fix and maybe do a little bit of trolling, reassessing some of these overhyped quarterbacks that shouldn't be as hyped up as they should be. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, guys. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. I hope to get there by the end of the calendar year, and I think with your guys' help, I think we can do it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I love every single one of you, regardless of what fan base you are. Don't take my trolling and anything serious. It's all in good fun. I have literally no malicious intent. Even if you're a Lions fan, I do want the best for your team. It's just, you just make it so hard, man. You guys just, oh my God, that organization. It's not you fans' fault. It's your organization's fault. The ownership, the front office, the president of football, these guys just don't have the mindset, man. You guys constantly are like, hey, let's build on a swampland when literally 500 feet to the left, it's solid ground. And you go, oh, we know better. We're going to build on the swamp and we're going to build an unstable foundation. You know what? I'm ranting again. I'm taking shots at the Lions. I do apologize, guys. I'm coming across mean. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I do love every single one of you guys. I do want the best for your team, except for when you guys are playing us. At that point, I don't want any injuries for you guys. I don't want any injuries for anybody. I'm sick and tired of them. So I hope you guys suck when we face this, and I hope you guys do great when we do. I love every single one of you guys. stay tuned because we got Vikings and Ravens, a complete breakdown, trying to go through everything for you so you guys are as well informed and giving you guys some thoughts and takes, impressions, so then you guys can hopefully make a good prediction for yourselves. All right, guys. I'll see you guys at the 1 o'clock preview. Take care, guys.